What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Coffee and Van Chats on the Out of Collective Network. I'm sitting here with Alex Ianculescu. She's a speed skater. She's a cyclist. I would say you're an influencer. Does that count? Is that a weird thing to say? You're an
That's weird.
influencer. You are on OnlyFans, and that's a hot topic, and I can't wait to dive into that because I'm so intrigued. And then, yeah, you're just an all-around athlete. Like, I think what's really funny is because I look at your content and I look at like what you put out there, and it's like you could easily be like one of those fitness people that also do like the diets, because you also have like those pretty acai bowls that you take pictures of. It seems like daily, like your life. This is actually the first question.
Okay.
Is Instagram versus reality true? Because I feel like everything you post on Instagram is like you in some like off off the grid beach location. You're the only person there, and you're eating some dope ass acai bowl in a bathing suit.
Um, so first off, hi, thanks for having me on. It's an
Yeah,
honor.
no worries. Yeah, I always do these crazy
So
intros. You got to be prepared. I'm coming in hot.
I'm now I'm ready because jet lag is still, I'm winning over jet lag. So I'm
Yeah,
gonna answer this best as I can. I do take pride in actually whatever I post on Instagram is not edited. It's just like there, and it is what it is in the moment. And
yeah,
so when I am on a beach eating an acai bowl, I do take a picture and I post it.
that's wild.
And it's not like I have all the bad shit too, and I really like posting about that stuff too, because then it kind of balances it out, because it is not all
Makes you
like shit.
human. Yeah, yeah, makes you
And
human.
we are, and like most people hide it, but like I love that I went through all the crap because now I can help other people through my posts.
Yeah, sweet. So let's just go ahead and dive into it. So
Okay.
you started out as a speed skater, and like we chatted about before, like I saw your name pop up, and I think you probably did what every eager athlete does, especially when they're transferring sports. Because I've had like rowers and other people that transfer sports. They go to every single coaching company they can think of, and they start like putting out feelers of like, hey, can I do this? Can I do this? Do you think I can do this? And you, because you're making the transition into cycling. But I want to talk. You're an Olympian, like you went to the Olympics, which is like not many people get to say. Like you're even smiling just me saying that you're an Olympian. Okay. And so not many athletes can say that. And so what like where does that even start? Like how do you get into speed skating? You know, you speed skated for Romania and Canada, right? And so
Yeah.
like how does that Alex begin?
So baby Alex was put on skates when she was 2
Okay.
in Romania. And I also started skiing and playing tennis at 2 as well. So then I grew up doing both. We immigrated to Canada when I was 10. And then when we were unpacking, I saw this box that had medals in it. And I was like, what is this? And my mom's like, oh, those are my speed skating medals. And I'm like, what's speed skating? So then long story short, I signed up with the local short track club here in Toronto, where we moved to. And I won my first age class competition. Fast forward, I was 15, moved to Europe to train with her old coach. So she basically was en route to go to the Olympics in 1988 for Calgary, but her parents, being university professors, said, education's first, you're done skating. And so she
Yeah.
would have gone, but then anyway, that energy was transferred into what I was doing. And so I had full support from her, emotionally, mentally, whatever, because financially it was really crappy because she basically raised us as a single mom. So it
And I
wasn't,
bet
I
and I
didn't
bet
go
there's
to
like
everything.
bukus of bucks in
There
speed
was,
skating.
yeah. And so then I trained with her coach in Romania, came back, got it. Yeah. Then I skated for Canada for, I guess, I don't know, like a long time.
Yeah,
And
you were
then
like junior national champion and
that
what
was in
other things did you do?
Romania,
Well,
but I
I'm
was Canadian national champion in the point system in the 500.
yeah, that's what I see here.
Um, the 1,000. That was my best year. But yeah, it's a long story. And looking back, there's only one thing I would change, but I wouldn't really change much about how I got to where I am now because of who I met along the way and how it all progressed.
Yeah. And so I guess my thing is where's the transfer to Romania? Like, cause you have two passports, which
Mhm.
is dope, by the way. Cause like I think that's every cyclist's dream. Like, if I could have a European passport, that's all I need in life. Like,
You
that's what I
could.
want. I know I could, and it would just take time, and I'd got to figure it out. But that like to me is like the dream. If you're just like, oh yeah, I was born in Romania, and then this, that, and the other, and like as kids, your parents set that up for you. That'd be awesome. But I guess my thing is why Romania? Like, why did you decide to go full gas Romania and not Canada?
So I went full gas Canada, and
Yeah.
I was really fortunate to have, in 2012, I was actually going to retire because I plateaued. And how it happened was, my one of the guys working at the Oval, his name is Greg Planner, used to be a national team coach for Canada, and he came and I told him I was going to retire, and he's like, "Give me 1 year to work with you." Currently, he still works as the competition director at the Oval, and so he basically like creates the World Cup program, everything for all the races in Calgary, where I was living and training, and I knew of his past and how successful he was with Katrina Almeida, Susanok, Tomomi Okazaki, a Japan skater, who all three were on the podium in 1998 in Nagano. So I said, okay, I'm going to give you 1 year. From 1 year, he brought me from 14th place to first and second on the Canadian ranking system.
Wow.
And all through coaching me through his vacation hours, because he was like, you can't afford to pay for anything. Like, I was young. He's like, he would show up, he would take like an hour of his lunchtime and just come downstairs. We would skate, training. We went to Japan for 6 weeks, basically learn how to be an athlete. And that's when I learned how to be, or what it takes. Made the Canadian national team, traveled with Team Canada to World Cups as a senior skater, which was my biggest dream since,
Yeah.
I think I told Katrina Almeida in 2002 when she signed like a photo for me. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
to be on the Canadian team. And then things started getting a little complicated, like they do in every sport. And only now, like in 2022, everything's coming out with all the other sports. And I switched to, it was actually Greg's idea. He came to me one day and said, if you want to go to the Olympics, you're going to have to switch to Romania. Because what had happened was in 2017, I was the fastest woman that qualified for World Sprint Championships in Nagano. Or not, sorry, 2016. It was Christine Nesbitt, myself, and Shannon Rempel.
Mm-hmm.
And they did not send me because they didn't like that I had my own coach and that I hadn't officially gone under the umbrella. So first, Greg came to me and said, okay, you need to go with the Canadian national team. I took you as far as I could. Now it's the next step, blah, blah, blah. I really missed having a team. I'm full on like a team human. I work really well individually, but I love when there's people around me that are faster because then I want to chase them, but then I also like helping others. So that was okay, it's time.
Yeah.
Then I went with the national team, but they kind of left me in limbo and didn't really place me in a group for 6 months. And so when I jumped in, I got burnt out within 2 months because the volume that they were training at was way too intense. And I jumped in like when they were already like really high. So that's when Greg was like, hey, if you want to go to the Olympics, you got to switch. And I didn't really want to because I had a negative experience with, it's just different in Romania.
Yeah. Is there a team like in Romania, or is it like, I mean, and please don't get offended by me saying this again, you're an Olympian, but is it like, there was that one girl, that skier girl, have you seen this, where she's American and she like, I want to say, was it not the Cayman Islands or Barbados or something, like she had some sort of like Caribbean island citizenship. And so she then went and skied and she did the freestyle and she literally, that I'm not saying that you did that, but like, I think she was the only person there from that country at the Winter Olympics.
Yeah.
So is Romania speed skating? Is it like, is there a lot of people? It's just not as deep, or like as Canada? I mean, I don't know, like because of the foundation or what?
They used to have a great team. When I was skating with them in 2007, we had a few Olympians like Claude and a bunch of girls. And then it died because there was no money and funding. And those guys were all over 30, considered old, retired, now coaching. So when I came in, they didn't have anybody. So we always had one spot. So I trained and qualified, but it doesn't matter what country you go, even in skiing. So it doesn't matter what country you skate for. It's not an automatic in, because in speed skating, it's based on time. So you still have to be top 32 fastest in the world and go on time. So had I not skated the time I skated, I wouldn't have gone.
It still
So I
would
was
have mattered.
fast enough to qualify.
So it's not like you don't qualify the country, you qualify the name.
You qualify the country, and then it's whoever ranks. So let's say you and I skate,
Mhm.
you qualify the first and second spot, but then at nationals, I get the first spot, then I go, and then
Okay.
so there's a process kind of through the first 4 World Cups where you qualify your spot. But in this case, I was the only skater, so I literally had to skate for my life.
Okay. And so yeah, and so you go into speed skating, you're doing this, you're kind of, I guess, what's that like being at the Olympics where you're kind of like bittersweet about it? Like, I mean, because I'm coming at this from an athlete mindset, right? And I'm thinking like, I love cycling. I really do. But if I had to switch where I feel
Yeah.
like I've been grown and raised and like I've always wanted to be a part of something. And it's like I've won national titles where people have gone, oh, well, that person wasn't there, or this person wasn't there.
Mhm.
And like you just got to go because of X, Y, and Z. Like, did you have to battle some of that shit?
I had to deal with people that totally turned their back on me because they thought I was a traitor, which if they knew the story,
Yeah.
which they did later on, I think they wouldn't have done that. It was kind of, I knew who my people were at the beginning, and I knew I still had actually quite an overwhelming support from the people that treated me as a human, that were like, we understand, we just like you as a person, we want you there, and it didn't matter. But even to this day, when I say, everyone's like, oh, so you skate for Team Canada, and I'm so proud to be Canadian. Like it's,
Yeah.
and I'm proud of where I come from and where I'm born. The one thing that maybe I struggle with a little is when I say it is because of the way Romanians are viewed all over the world. Like they think you're like a gypsy and whatever. And so that part
That's probably
is
my
kind of
ignorance because like I didn't even so much kind of think that because I'm just like gypsy. What the fuck's a gypsy? And so,
well,
but I'm,
like one because of like tanning.
but then again, I'm just an idiot. So, but yeah, no, that's crazy to me, and so I think that's really interesting. And so, then let's kind of get to you now. How do you go? Okay, 2018 Olympian, cool, dope, life's awesome. I'm living in Europe. I take awesome photos, and now I want to jump into. I have a cool life, and now I want to jump into a sport that's probably just as, if not more expensive, because I guess I don't know speed skating well enough, because it sounds like if you're going to do a training camp in Japan for 6 weeks, that's got to be pretty expensive. And I'm like trying to do the math. Like those speed suits probably aren't cheap, just like our skin suits aren't cheap.
Mhm.
The the skates probably aren't cheap, just like our shoes aren't cheap. Like there's
Yeah.
probably a lot of expenses, but I'm thinking of bikes. I'm thinking of flying with bikes. I'm
Of
thinking
course, yeah.
of flying with multiple bikes, especially in track cycling. So why on earth did you go, I want to be a cyclist?
Okay, so I'm going to tell you a not so long story short story.
Yeah.
So 2018, okay, I was in a really bad, emotionally abusive relationship for 6 years.
Okay.
After 2018, I'm going to give you the full story of how
No,
sad.
do it. That's what the podcast is for. Content.
And in 2018, I came home from the Olympics. I ended my relationship, just walked out, and I was like, "Okay." I remember moving
And
to
this is
New
your
York.
partner, right? Like it's not like a coach or something like that. It's your
No,
partner. Okay,
like
got it.
yeah, like
Follow.
thought that was it, and knew it wasn't along the way, but just couldn't leave because I was so much younger and
Yeah.
mentally not strong enough. And so anyway, so I remember being at my new house, and I started writing things down that gave me joy, because I was at the point where I was so depressed from not having performed at the Olympics like I could have if I did everything the right way, relationship, a bunch of stuff. And I said, okay, fresh start, let's go. What makes me happy? And for some reason, cycling was the first thing. And so then I ended up moving to Vancouver because I said, well, I can only turn left. May as
Yeah.
well try track.
There you go.
And moved to Vancouver, had the best to this day, the best year of my life, best year and a half. Fell in love with cycling. I got to hand it to Thomas from Musette Cafe, who literally was like the first time I wore a matching kit, because before I was buying that like cheap Safari bake, like the white with the rainbow stripes. Like I would never wear that now.
No, you got to do what you got to do. And here's the thing. This podcast is about normalizing professional cycling kit. I think it's so wild how everybody else can wear their favorite team's jersey and go play football or go do whatever. And it's like we go out and we wear Peter Sagan's jersey, we look like a bunch of jabronis, right? And I'm putting my foot down. I'm putting my foot down. If you're a fan, be a fan. I think like that's the reason why we struggle with sponsorship, but that's a conversation for another day. Anyways, continue.
And so Thomas from Music Cafe, because I was so broke, I still am. He was like, "Here's a kit, so you're matching. Just come on some group rides." The Music Cafe riding team was created. It was people of all walks of life, doctors, everything, and then there's me. And then I fell in love with cycling. I started really liking it. I liked that it wasn't a training camp where we had to do, like, it was fun. And so
you could just go ride. Yeah.
We went to ride, and then we went for Radlers after, and it kind of became this community and culture that I totally never had in skating, because in skating the girls are so mean, and you think like, but it's like in every sport. And I'm old enough now to look back and I just shake my head, because I never fit in. Like, I shaved my head in grade 7 because I wanted to look like Sinead O'Connor. I had no friends.
Yeah,
that's okay. I really like who I am today, and I would not change that for anything. Anyway.
Yeah.
And so I started liking cycling, started racing, and then I started missing skating again. And then I moved back in 2019 to skate. So then I put cycling on hold. I moved to Europe because of COVID. We had no ice in Calgary. And then I was like, then it came, like, my heart was like, okay, you need to be on a bike again. And so in training, I'd started going longer than the training program would say. I would go with the boys. I would find, it's bad. I worked in a bike shop for 4 years. Like, I have a bad obsession. I talk about equipment all day. I don't know. I'm looking for friends that are like me, and that's why I'm moving to Girona in October to ride with guys, and I can geek out about bike equipment stuff. And so
Jesus, like if you need to move anywhere, it's Girona or Andorra. Like, I mean, that's where it's gonna be. So,
but I want to race, and I know I'm not done with my athletic aspirations, to put it that way. And I don't know, for some reason in cycling, I just feel more aggressive, and I know I can achieve more than I maybe did in skating, because I'm confident in how I ride a bike.
Yeah.
And I've never had coaching in it. Like, I don't know, it came from training, and I just love it. Like, I don't know, I just truly, truly love cycling. Like, I don't care if, like, I love climbing. It's really fucked up because my body is not made for climbing right now.
No, and I don't
literally will climb, and I'm like, oh, this is so great.
Well, I don't know what it is with Canadians. Like, they have, you got, what's his name, Vincent de Hader. I think that's, I don't butchering his last name. Him. Okay, you got Kelsey Mitchell. I mean, even Jackie Boyle, another sprinter. I think all came from like different sports and like different backgrounds, and like just fell in love with cycling. And so Canada does a really, 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 really good job at opening up with welcoming arms and not being judgmental of somebody and what they're doing and where they come from. So I think if you're going to do it anywhere, Canada's the place to do it, because this is a very pretentious sport. Just as you said, when you were like, oh yeah, I bought the ones with the rainbow stripes and I got made fun of or whatever, like that's an experience that you had on its own. Right. But anyways, I guess more or less. So we chatted about this a little bit before the podcast, and I guess what's a goal for you? Is it the Olympics? Is it cracking into the national team, or what do you kind of see coming out of cycling, I guess? Because you are right. Like it's I mean, you were trying to crack in not into like one of the most welcoming programs, but probably one of the most competitive programs on the women's side of things. It's like, what's your goals here?
So my goals come in like sets of 5 usually.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, I just try to aim. I just think of something that I want, and then I see how I react to it, and I think about how happy it makes me, and then I go after that. So the first goal is Canadian national team.
Yeah.
Because why not? And then I'm going to spice it up a bit, because I don't think that's going to be enough for my brain. I want to be on a pro team for road.
Yeah.
I know that it's totally different, and I know that things have to change. My body has to change. It's already changing. Like, I'm my thighs are slowly not touching anymore, which is great because now I'm gonna definitely drop my phone in the toilet.
Okay.
Third goal, well, the Olympics is always a goal, but I don't want to just like even in skating, I didn't want to just go to the Olympics. I wanted to
Yeah.
perform. That just didn't happen. So I don't know. Like, I mean, I know what they are. It just sounds weird to say it out loud.
Well,
But
I think it's okay to say it out loud. I mean, I think it's just like, and hey, like, yeah, they do listen to this podcast. You know, it's like,
yeah, and I love it because I think it's healthy competition. And I think it's always like we need more women in cycling. Like I was riding with a bunch of dudes the other day and I'm like, where are all the women? Like there were 7 women and I think like 1,300 men
oh Jesus,
and an Austrian. I'm like, what the hell? And we need more women. And I'm a huge advocate for like getting young girls in sport because I coach speed skating
yeah,
for so many years. And it's so important that we have like a healthier balance. So yeah, I want to compete. I want to challenge who is out there now. Like why not? It's the same in skating. Like you always have the same people, but like it's always nice when someone new comes along. Am I gonna do what I want to do? I don't know. We'll see. Like
yeah,
something can happen. I just want to try. Like I know I'm not gonna show up at nationals in September this year because that would be such a dumb move to just like look like I just learned how to ride a bike. But I'm gonna work hard and one day show up and see what I can do. And in the meantime, I do have a great support system in Europe. I have a team. I'm really lucky to have my manager. Alex was a former pro cyclist who has like all the connections, like his best friend owns Canyon and a bunch of other people that are involved. And I'm lucky to have the not the fast track, but like to have met the right people now that I needed to get to where I want to go a bit faster. So I'm not kind of like a deer in the headlights looking for, oh, like how do
no,
I
that
get here and
makes a
here?
big difference because it's like sometimes, and I don't know about Canada because it sounds like they're pretty welcoming, but sometimes you will get led astray, or people aren't going to tell you, hey, you needed to make that turn there, you needed to talk to this person here. Like they're not going to do anything that hinders their performance. And long story short, but yeah, no, that's cool. And so I guess, you know, diving into sponsorships, diving into money, diving into all this, we get to talk about the meat of this all, and that's the OnlyFans. And you're not the only person I know that has an OnlyFans. I have another friend who is in OnlyFans as well. But where yours kind of like you promote it a lot more, and then on top of promoting it a lot more, I remember like we followed each other. We were talking about track cycling or whatever, and you had some questions, and I gave you some answers and whatever. Good luck. And then you posted something, and you literally went from like 6,000 followers to like 23,000 followers or something crazy, like
Mhm.
overnight. And I was
Yeah.
like, holy cow. And so, what has that been like? Like, have you, yeah, I guess let's start. My first question, I'll take one question at a time, John, one question at a time. Where did you decide? Because there has to, because even my wife or like my wife's friends have jokingly been like, I should do that. Like,
You
that'd
make a
be,
killing.
I do it. I do it. And so, like,
I know some guys on there and I'm like, oh my God, you should not be there. You would make a killing.
so what do you do? Like, how do you decide, like, all right, I'm going to do this? Because you have to, like, and again, don't take this wrong, but you were probably like, crap, what's my mom going to think? What's my sponsors going to think?
Hmm.
What, like, what is the national team going to think? Like, what are these people going to think? And so, like, how did you just decide I'm going to go all in? Just fuck it.
So a year before I went in, I created an account and then I got frustrated. I don't know what it was and what was happening. I was like, I'm not doing this. Because then I started seeing all I saw was like not porn, but like every time I Googled it, I was like, oh no, this is not what I want to like promote myself. And then I realized that, some of these people there, because what I was going to say was, oh no, I have morals. I'm not going to do that. But that's not the way it is because some of these women that are out there literally have like 3 infant children at home and they have to find a way. And maybe that's the only way they can make money. So I don't want to
For
put them
sure.
down at all. It's not about morals. It's not about, oh, I can't do anything else. Fuck, like I speak 5 languages. Like I have a degree. I have a real job. Like
Yeah.
I know I can do whatever I really actually want to. Um, and then a year later, a few of my friends were like, and people on Instagram that like the guy that sold my car in Holland, he's like, haha, you should be on OnlyFans. I was like, haha, no. A bunch of people were like, why aren't you on OnlyFans? Like, because I was posting just, I don't know, I like my body, like I like
Yeah,
my
yeah.
butt, and whatever. And like they're like, you know, people pay for this, and I'm like, ah, whatever. Like I'm not gonna sell photos to people. Like that's so weird. And so I was in Tenerife with my best friend with Hannah, and I started it there. I said, okay, let's do it. And I was really nervous because, and I talked to my coach, my mom, everyone about it. My mom
So
was
you
like,
you passed it with your mom.
so the photos I actually post, I run them by like my committee, which is like my mom, sometimes my sister, and a couple other people. I'm like, is this okay? And they're like, yeah. Or like, I'll post something on Instagram that then they tell me you should post that on OnlyFans. So it's in my head, if it gets screenshot, it has to be okay with me to be seen by the world.
Okay.
Because there's not like, yeah, like there has been, or like a lot more money, some other stuff. And like, it took me like 6 months though. Like I haven't, right off the bat, I was like, okay, I'm not like showing anything. And like, it was really great. And then I was like, yeah, whatever. Like, absolutely, you know, like you can't
Yeah.
really see. Well, you depends. Like, I'm not going to give it all away. Yeah, there's some stuff that I've like not crossed the line because I know where my line is.
Yeah.
But it's all, like I said, if it gets screenshot, I'm okay with it.
And so
That's what has to be in my head, you know?
And so how does this work? Because like I'm literally prepping for this, and I'm like talking to a guy, and I'm like, I go to your OnlyFans, and like I don't have $20, so I'm not subscribing. Sorry, but I like go to these OnlyFans. I go to these different accounts, and it's like it just shows you like it's like a bio, and like I guess if you don't subscribe, it just like shows you these like lock screens, and it's like it shows you how many videos and how many photos there are. And so like do they pay per photo, or is it like an Instagram where like if I pay $20 I get to see your feed all of a sudden? Like how does this work?
Okay. So you pay $20, you see like the 423, I don't know, I'm just making up a number around
Okay,
that,
yeah, that's fine.
that you see everything I posted. And then what I like to do is to my loyal fans that have been there for a while, and I send freebies through the messages, so that like just photos that normally like people would pay for. But the way that you make your money is, let's say you log on and you're like, oh, I want to see this, and then I send you what you want to see for a price, and then you pay it, you unlock it. OnlyFans takes 20%. Can't remember, 20 or 30.
20%?
Oh yeah, it's a lot.
That's a lot.
So that's why like at the beginning some of the stuff was I was charging more, and now I'm charging less because then more people will buy it, because that's
Can
okay.
I ask you right now, what's the most money you've made off one photo?
Of one photo? So the limit is 200 US that they can buy, and one I sold for 800 US. So they had to tip. No, they tipped in 3, and then I sent it, and then so it was, yeah.
So they can tip on top of purchasing it?
Yeah, because we were talking, and it depends on what it is. Like there's just a $200 limit, and sometimes like I'll be like, hey, I'm not sending it till you like. So there was a guy that wanted a video for 30 seconds, and it was pretty like normal. He's like, just say my name and say that you miss me, and I was like, okay, like I don't know this guy. It was like Jonathan, or I can't remember. And
don't say like, Jonathan, that's me. No, give me
no.
I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
And then he's like, just, you know, like say, hey, I miss you, happy birthday, blah blah blah. And it was like 250 US. And then there was
that's
a guy.
Kind of, can we pause? That's kind of sad though. Like, do you ever like there's like some of this stuff you're like kind of like, oh man, this is like,
dude, I'm going to see the Rolling Stones for a 3rd time. Like I would pay whatever it took to touch Mick Jagger's ass and to be close to him, or to have him say like a little, hey Alex, good luck, and I don't know, you know. Okay, but it's like it depends on. I mean, I'm not Mick Jagger for these people.
Look, I'm not kink shaming. I'm not shaming anybody for what they're into. I'm just, it's again like, I just like there's a lot of people that it'd be really cool for them to be like, hey John, happy birthday, but like, yeah, I don't see me paying any amount of money for it.
I don't know what it is, like the people like,
because this sounds like a more intense version of, what is it, Cameo? You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah,
Where you
yeah.
used to be able
I
to
never
like,
did that on that on
you
that.
used to be able to hire like it was usually actors that their careers were going downhill, and you could get
Oh
like some random dude from the
yeah.
Anchorman or whatever to just like
Hmm.
tell you happy birthday, and you're like, oh, I remember seeing that guy. Um, but yeah, and so like yeah, that's like to me, I'm just like, oh man, that's kind of like he must be a lonely dude if he's like, hey, here's $800. I need you to tell me happy birthday.
There's some that and it's I reply to all the messages myself, and I know that there's services you can hire to have people reply, and I would make more if I did that, but
But that doesn't make it
uh,
authentic.
no, it doesn't, and that's
Yeah,
why it
yeah.
took a while to reply to people, and I lost so many followers because I'm so bad at like trying to like. There's a guy, and he told me like his whole life story, and I was like, oh my god. So I definitely put like all my energy into it, and I
Oh
can
shit.
say I do work for my money. It's crazy that it's like, I mean, I wouldn't. It's stupid amounts if you spend time with it.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, like I don't get the. I mean, I'm not judging, but you know, there's like weird, not weird. No, they're fetishes that I don't understand maybe. So then I'm happy that I can at least, hey, here's my speed skating suit because you like Lycra. That's that
Oh
is
man, welcome to the cycling world, because that has been a hot topic of the fucking cycling world. I've yet to make it in cycling because no grown man has asked me for my chamois yet.
oh
Um,
man.
but that
Oh
seems to be a thing. Um, which I'm not going to mention any names because we did a whole podcast on it and I had to cut it out because
man.
this individual was
Yeah.
going to ride for a national team and I couldn't put it on. But it's a funny one and it's a conversation for another day. But I again, have you been asked that already? Like you've been asked for like your speed
Um,
skate suits and
I've sold skating suits, but that's I don't think that's creepy. Like I've been asked for my underwear a lot of times. I never sold them, but if I did, now I've just seen everything. Like I've been
yeah.
sent. I've
But that has to be mentally wearing
um
because you're
I
kind of
can
playing like therapist and then you're also like you're
I can compartmentalize really well though because I'm really good
okay.
at like as an athlete too. Like I remember having ridiculous like arguments with my ex where like at 7 o'clock in the morning that I have to go train and compete, and like I knew how to be like shut it off, and I became
Really?
like a psycho, like a little like just so good at compartmentalizing to where I'm just, I walked in the oval doors and I was there to do a job, and I would win races and I would do well. And then I would go and cry in the bathroom after because I'd be like, oh my God, like, am
Just
I locked out of
overwhelmed?
my house tonight? Like, it was
Yeah.
pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah, that
And
sounds insane.
so with this, like, I have, like an hour a day or 2 hours a day if I have more time, and I'm emailing and I get into it and I like have conversations, and I do enjoy it. I just need to actually sit my ass down and do more of it because
Yeah.
I just bought some expensive wheels and I need to pay for them.
Savage. So you're living OnlyFans to OnlyFans paychecks at this point. Like you're just like,
Um, I'm yes, and I'm a personal trainer, so I'm writing programs for people, and I feel like I truly like I'm
which do you like
actually.
more?
Oh, I like both because I like how I I changed 100%, not 100, like I became more comfortable with myself and like and sexually in a way too, which is really interesting because I thought I was like, I don't know, like I'm pretty open minded and like easygoing and I can talk about anything. And then this kind of forced me, like I never showed like I'm my like Alex, my ex, not the crazy one, but he would be like, oh, babe, send me a picture. I'm like, no, I'm not sending anything to anyone.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, here I am, all like on OnlyFans being like boobies. No, there's no
Yeah.
boob, but like, yeah. So it's interesting because I don't know. I like both because I like that part, like how I'm not, I don't know what the word is, and I like working really hard to figure out, like I have clients that come with like a broken shoulder. So I know you can't do and that lift. So then I'm like, how can I be creative and change to make you strong to achieve what you really want? And I really like that I have the knowledge I can back that up with. So I like both. It's just different. It's
Have
totally
you
different.
have you ever worried about your safety?
No,
Like
but there was
with
this
some
one time.
yeah, like
Oh my God.
I'm just trying to think of like some crazy dude who just finds out where you live and is like I'm a subscriber. Like, cuz how many messages are you responding to? Like how many people are you responding to on OnlyFans?
Right now, so I'm getting through them. I still have 150
God, I'm
unread.
already dead. And so, do they have to pay to send you a message, or can they just send you a message and then that's where the
And they get
negotiation?
mad at me when I don't reply, which is what's happening right now. So if I made the account
Oh,
free, they would have to tip anything above $1 to send me a message, which I was debating doing.
uh-huh.
But then I was like,
That was a question. Somebody asked that question. Somebody was like, "Isn't this the girl that has a free OnlyFans?" And I was like, "I don't know. Is that a thing?"
I was debating making it free, but I think I would keep it at 20 because I don't want everyone to have access to everything, because there is some stuff that I can never post online, like publicly, and I'd rather have people pay to see that.
Yeah, we got to dive into these questions here soon too.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, no. So this is insane. So like, and so you have to respond to these people, and they get upset with you if you don't respond to them. And like, I guess more or less, like, are you notified? Like, do you get like an email that's like, "Oh, Dave sent you a message. Like,
So
get
I
back on
don't, which is
OnlyFans."
weird. I don't at
Okay.
all. It's only when I log in. And I have been really overwhelmed the last few months with the whole Girona move and decisions and finding coaches. And so I kind of put it on hold for 3 months. And I felt really bad. So I went back and I I subscribed to them, which gave them a free access to me for a month. So
Okay.
to look it up, and they're generally all really nice. I feel so bad. And it literally, like, it's a conversation I have with a couple of people in my life. They're like, did you reply? And I'm like, no, I gotta do it. And
Yeah.
I need to stay more on top of it, because really that's actually what's paying the majority of my bills right now.
Wow.
So
Okay. Is it a livable salary?
it's crazy.
Can you talk
Like,
about it, or do you not want to talk about it? It's totally
um,
okay if you don't want to talk about it, but
okay, I'll
because
tell
here's
you
the
how.
thing. I watch these like Logan Paul things and they're like, "Oh, how much did you make on it?" And it's like this chick's like, "Oh, I made $1 million in a month." And like if you made $1 million in a month, I feel like you'd be like, "Yeah, I made $1 million in a month." But
I would still be cycling no matter what. I
yeah,
would
for sure. For sure.
Okay, the first month in April of last year, what I took home was, I think, 8,300 US. And then I just haven't done it as much.
And that's like when you were like, "Okay,
I
I'm
was
on
on
top
it.
of
I was
this."
like, I want people, like I want, yeah, and I was replying and I was on top of it.
Holy
I
shit.
am very not on top of it. But hold on, with that being said, now in the last 2 weeks, I'm on top of it now. So now I'm like posting every day, because I see stuff and I'm like, oh, like I'll get in the shower and I'm like, oh, I like the way my abs are in this lighting, and I'll just take some strategic photos and I'll post them, because I'm like, fuck, like I can't post that on my story. I wish I could post that on Instagram, but then like some people just totally reported me and I don't want to lose my account. So,
Okay. Holy shit.
so
And so
yeah, but it's
8
gone. The
like
money's gone.
yeah, for sure, for sure. And so about $8,000. So you're probably averaging out somewhere close to like 5K a month now.
If I did the work, it would be around that or more.
Wow.
I just have to do it. But I have so much debt from skating. Like I owe, like it's stupid, because the last 2 years before the Olympics, yeah, I have some like bad skating debt. So I'm paying that off slowly.
All right,
Like
guys.
it's
Well,
100.
subscribe to our OnlyFans, or just send her something on Venmo and say thank you um, for skating and being a mad dog. All right, let's dive into these questions. We're gonna dive into these questions because we had a few, and I was kind of worried that you were gonna share it, and I was gonna get some dude that should be like, "Marry me."
Oh, there are marriage questions. But and
Yeah,
I do want babies, but not with, I think, anyone that's, I don't know.
yeah. That's hitting you up on
I am
OnlyFans. Well, there you go, guys. If you want,
single, waiting for my dream man that
if you
rides bikes and likes dogs and coffee. So if
All
you're
right,
out there.
if you want Alex, you need to just move to Girona and hope that you stumble upon her, and don't tell her that you moved there to see her, because that's probably close to stalking, guys. All right, here we go. Best snack to grab from the Jumbo. I don't know what that means, but
From Jumbo, oh, it's probably okay.
oh, that's a European question, huh?
That's a European. Okay. Oh, I think I know who asked that.
Yeah.
Like, I think, is it Katya?
No, this is Marcel.
Oh, Marcel. Okay. Oh, yeah.
He's a mechanic, really nice guy.
Oh, a different Marcel. Okay.
Yeah.
Tell Marcel that my favorite snack from Jumbo in Holland is the bolletjes, like the sausage little balls that come in. They're €2.39. and
You
they're
know that to a
amazing.
T. You know that to a T.
The only thing I ate. Like,
Heck yeah. And then how much gossip about NVDP is there in the skating community? Did people even care? Do you even know what that means?
oh,
NDV.
Matthew Vanderpool?
Matthew Vanderpool, yeah.
No, but my ex Alex was like obsessed with him. It was really funny.
Was he a speed skater?
He was a cyclist. He was also
I,
old. He was 47, so he like knew the whole cycling world.
no, but was Matthew Vanderpool a speed skater?
No,
Oh, well then what does this mean? How much gossip would there be about him in the speed skating community?
I don't know, because I know he loves his girlfriend and she's really awesome, and there's nothing like that in there.
Huh.
I know there's like, yeah, I'm not gonna get into it, but
Oh, I guess there's some sort of gossip that I don't know anything about.
no, there isn't with no.
And
With
then, yep, the classic. I literally have 5 of these that are, will you marry me? And then I have, I have 5 of these. How much money do you make off one OnlyFans photo, which we've already answered?
okay, so the average goes for like $9.99.
$9.99, and that's like $9.99 or $999.
$9.99.
And that's just like,
And sometimes I'm like, oh, here, have 3 for $10 instead, because I feel good about it.
don't care. Yeah.
Yeah.
And these are, and like you said, you don't do anything nude. So it's just like photos that are borderline community guideline no-nos on Instagram.
There are nudes, and then they just have to be strategic about what they want, and then they have to pay like the full price. But nothing like very, they're like super classy.
Okay.
Like I've been asked everything, and there's no way I'm gonna like
All right.
like stuff like that, where I'm like, no, like that's gross. Like just if they want that, like I show them.
That.
I have an artsy brain. I can't help but like use it. Like with lighting, and like, so then they love it, which is weird because I'm like, oh, okay, if you're settling for that, okay.
Yeah. So I got 2, I got 2 questions now. And you, you don't have to answer this one, like, cause I said I wouldn't ask, like, cause I don't need names, but has anybody subscribed to you? You're like, I know that guy, or.
Oh, my friends' dads have. Whoa. And they use their names, and then I'm like, huh, I'm not going to your house for dinner anytime soon.
You can see names
because they use their names because they didn't know.
Whoa.
Yeah. And I was like, okay.
Do you tell your friends?
You're like, yeah. I was like, oh my god, who just signed up?
So your friends' dads.
There's only 2 guys that were in Vancouver that were dads that I knew, that I'm like, this should not be happening. And I knew it was happening because they were cyclists, and I was like, okay, great. So the whole bike shop now. Sama bum bum.
Oh wow. And then dude, this is nuts. And so and so my next question for you is because I don't know who sent this. I think my roommate or my Madison partner is the guy who sent this to me. He's like, dude, you can sell feet pics online. Like there's an actual specific website. And I'm like, yeah, I've heard of OnlyFans. And he's like, no. There's feetfinder.com. And so has it, and maybe it's a bandwidth thing for you right now, or you're just like too busy, but have you seen that? And have you ever been like, and is there a market? Do you actually believe there's a market for feet?
So I only learned this through OnlyFans. There is a market for feet.
I only learned this through OnlyFans.
I didn't know about the Foot Finder, which I'm now going to Google.
It's footfinder.com, so check it out.
Amazing what
and,
people come up with.
Yeah.
But I do sell, I have like a automatic welcome message that comes when you sign up, and it says they're $10 for this, $15 for foot package, 50 for half a nipple. I'm kidding.
Shit, you have a whole fucking menu.
I have it. It's called a tipping menu. So sometimes like I'm going to start doing it again once a month, where I post like a photo of something and I'll have a new one, and then first come, first serve. And then once I delete it, it's gone.
So do you have like have you talked with like other OnlyFans creators of like how to do this, or did you just fucking?
I just followed a bunch of women and I learned, and then I saw what they were posting, and then I was like, okay, well, I can't post that.
Did you subscribe to any? You were like, okay, this is what they do, this is what they don't.
I paid for one that was a fitness one because I was more interested in her fitness stuff. And then she was posting, and I was like, yeah, like they're all pro done. Like I like that I take everything myself. Like I don't have someone else taking my photos. They're all on my iPhone, and like, so I learned literally through like, okay, what do they do? And now it's just that. Like I'm not. They're pretty like out there. I don't no, yeah, I'm not like that. But like I learned about like the tipping menu. I learned how to, you do polls, then so more stuff like what I can post out there. Like there
Yeah.
was one at one point where for a week people could buy I could be like their because I saw another girl do it, so I did it like their not an imaginary girlfriend, but like to text them every morning and every night, and that's it. Just say, hey, morning, hope you have a great day, and at night, hey, sweet dreams. And people like paid for that, and like was sending like 3 texts a day to whoever signed up for that, and like I would send photos of like if I was out for a jog, I would just genuine like
Just
growth.
if
It's a
you were texting
normal,
your friend like, hey, what's up, I'm out running,
yeah, like
like as
if
if they're paying to be your friend almost.
yeah, and so I did that, and yeah, like that paid my rent for the whole year.
Fuck me dead. That's
But it's interesting.
insane.
It's interesting to see because I don't look at myself like I'm just me. Okay.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I don't own a hairbrush. I just, like I
Yeah,
went
you
to
fixed it.
McDonald's
You
for
fixed it like
coffee.
7 times on this
No, because I'm
podcast.
making it and I don't like it right now. Anyway.
Sorry.
But like I would definitely hang out with some of these people because like I'm like I talk to them and I'm like, oh my god, like I just want to hug you, but like okay, I can't do that. But you know what I mean? Like I'm just me.
Well,
Like,
see, and that was what I was about to ask. Like, has there ever been one you're like, man, if only this guy might have actually been my guy if he didn't subscribe to my OnlyFans?
oh no, because I don't know. No.
They usually ruin it pretty quick.
Filter. I've met some interesting people on social media, like especially on Instagram, so I see their face and I know who they are.
Yeah.
But I also have my friends at home, and I, like if I'm dating someone or whatever, then I know who they are from before. I don't know, like so yeah, social media is kind of creepy, actually. Like I have requests on Instagram from people, and I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I would not go for coffee with you.
Yeah, see, and I don't know who I was telling this.
Wait, hold on. I would say though, there have been, like, I posted a couple days ago that I'm looking for like girl friends to go paddleboarding with in Austria and stuff. And like, if women wrote, I would 100%, like they could be creeps. I wouldn't know it, but like I would say yes to girls to go for coffee and hang out because I want more like feminine energy in my life. Because
that makes sense. This probably well, literally, you have about I'm gonna say 22,000, because you have 23,000 followers. You have 22,000 dudes that follow you, and so that's
I want
male
like
energy.
hang out with like chicks more. I have my guys.
There you go, ladies. This is your call.
I'm too manly. I'm too
in Austria,
if you're in Austria,
if you're in Toronto, if you're in Girona, just bug her, please. Slide in her DMs, and if it gets pushed to the back, let me know. I'll make sure it gets pushed to the front, because she just needs some homies.
I just want like cool homie chicks that are not afraid to like, like I want like kick-ass people, not like, oh my god, I broke my nail. No, like I don't need that shit. Well, like fucking let's go do shit.
You'll find that in the cycling world for sure. But anyways, I'm not gonna keep you all day because I can keep talking to you about the OnlyFans and like you getting started in that. I think it's fucking insane. But
is that weird? I mean,
no, I don't think it's weird, and that's the reason why I wanted to bring you on. And I've been thinking about like, how do I bring a person on that has this kind of content, and because I think you could normalize it, right? Because I think OnlyFans, correct me if I'm wrong, it was started solely to like for fitness trainers and stuff to have like paid for content where, and then it just got taken over by other influencers, and then people started pushing the boundaries, and then people are weird, like the people that are buying photos, and then it's like, you go to look at this ab video, like let's say you posted an ab video, next thing you know, he's like, can I see your big toe please? I'll give you $20. It
has happened.
There you go. And Jesus Christ. And so dude, I can't. And so and then on top of that, like there's like the people selling clothes and the people selling, like people just want t-shirts. And so like, yeah, I think with OnlyFans, like the original creation of that was on Instagram that got sent to me the other day, and it's like this girl, she's standing, and the guy comes up to her, and he's like, "Hey, how much would you sell your underwear for?" And she's like, "What? Like, I wouldn't sell my underwear." And he's like, $500. And she's like, "Well, I mean, I guess." And he's like, $200. And she's like, "I mean, yeah, like I would sell it for $200." And he's like, $100. And she's like, yeah. And then it was like $5. She's like, "Look, I don't even care about my underwear. If you want it and give me $5, whatever, that's cool." And it's funny. He's like, it's funny how fast like people will cripple for $5. You know what I mean? And so like, I think it's like kind of like that same thing in the sense of like, you know, we're sitting here thinking like, oh, I would never sell a photo of my feet. And
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
bro, if some dude hit me up right now, you hearing this, fellas? If you hit me up, or girls, you hit me up right now and you say you pay me $10 for a picture of my feet, even $5, I'll give you my Venmo Cash App right now. I'll actually put in the link in the description below. Like,
I love my followers. They're very respectful, and I've only blocked one guy once, but they're all genuinely nice. Like they're like, "Hey, we want to be respectful, not like." So they know that it's not just some robot behind the screen. Which, thank you guys if you're subscribed.
Yeah.
Thanks for being human.
Oh yeah, and thanks for listening to my podcast. This is probably the podcast you wanted to come to, but thanks for listening. But anyways, before I let you go, I asked this question with everyone. If you could have a cup of coffee with one individual, dead or alive, who would that individual be? Why would you have a cup of coffee with them? And then how would you take your coffee?
Okay. That's an easy question because it's all I think. Well, not all I think about. I used to think about it all the time. So, okay. Okay, Diane Keaton.
Okay.
Because I had the biggest crush on her since 2003 when Something's Gotta Give came out. And I liked that she wore a tuxedo on the red carpet at the Oscars. And I was like, who is that? And that totally changed my life. I would love to have a coffee with her. I would have what I usually have, which is a cortado or I guess I'd have a cappuccino. I know she'd have an Americano. I'd definitely buy her coffee. And
I love the vibe. You're like, I already know what she's going to have. It's okay. I got it.
Maybe I'm a little creepy. I used to write her letters when I was 13. Never replied.
Oh, savage.
And yeah, just because she shaped who I became with as a young adult, because I saw that women could be different. And I didn't know what impact that would have. For wearing that suit on that red carpet totally just changed everything.
Well, hell yeah. Well, hopefully some women listen to this podcast and they're like, I can be different or I can do what I want. And
here's the thing. Being different is, sorry to interrupt.
No, you're good.
Where it's so boring to be vanilla. Like I'm vanilla sometimes and it's okay, but just have something that's yours. Don't be afraid to be different. Like, cause like I said earlier, like I grew up, I literally had no friends because I shaved my head. I was like an art student doing running club. And then only after the Olympics, all these girls that I wish I had as friends from high school were like wanting to be friends. And I'm like, where were you when I needed you? And I'm so glad that I was the way I was, because the friends I have now are like, I have 3 really good friends and I would not change that for anything. No, and you really attract the people and the energy in your life that is good for you and that's meant to be by being like a fucking weirdo like I am. And I would never,
Hell yeah. No, I think that's sick. No, and I think that's a good place to just like even be. So hopefully there's some people listening to this podcast that kind of get something out of that. It's like, oh, I can be out of the box and you don't have to fit into the social norm or into society to be accepted. So I think that's dope. But anyways, guys, if you haven't already, please make sure you hit the subscribe button. Go follow Alex down in the link in the description below. Also, if you want to go check out our OnlyFans, the link will be in the description below as well.
I'll give a subscription. I'll do a deal for the next week for 25% off.
Heck yeah! So 25% off because of this podcast, and also, she's an artist as well. We didn't get to dive into that as much, but she makes really cool fucking shirts. So go check that out. She does them every once in a while, and she like posts them up online. They're really sick. She loves Porsches. So go check that out. Other than that, guys, we'll see you next time. Peace.